homeless guy was trying to put a spell on me, but I think he was just waving.
The following film is intended for mature audiences and contains adult content, graphic language, graphic violence, nudity, and strong sexual content. Viewer discretion is advised. Like, we'll leave it up to you, but you gotta know about this stuff before getting into this whole thing, you know? I mean, straight up, one guy gets his face bitten off by a raccoon, and we show it. Oh man, do we show it.
Hey, y'all, he's cool.
And he's Kegs. What's up, brother?
Well, we are on part 2 of our very, very interesting conversation with Mr. Cash.
And you might be able to hear me.
Well, we could hear you before, but I don't know if you're deep throating that mic or just having a good time over there. But we'll just go ahead and leave that one up to the listeners.
The lotion wasn't mine.
Excellent, even better. I'll go grab the hose. So, per Mr. Cash's request, we're going to touch on some game stuff real quick before we get back into some more of his very interesting personal research. I completely lost my word there. Sorry, guys. So, Mr. Cash, if you would please care to take the floor again.
Hey, guys.
Hey, buddy.
Thanks for doing a pod, too. Yeah, I wanted to hit on a few things regarding the game, and I'm not going to bitch, piss, moan, whine. I mean, we all know what it is. It's a game. The company that created it is there to make money. We're aware. There's just some things that, in case the dev is listening, that I'd like to see changed in the game, and they're small. And some of them stand out like a sore thumb, like the MVP of the game, of a battle. Shouldn't an MVP get something like 20 extra points? Like, that's
Something.
That's not gonna break the bank for them. And here's another thing that bothers me about the game. You know, when they did the tier 7 drop, they changed the respawn things to the amount of diamonds coincides with the level you're at. You know, if you're level 2, it's 2 to respawn. If you're level 7, it's 7 to respawn. Then why aren't our chests and the contents of it all at the level we are at? I should be getting. I'm in a tier 7. I should be getting nothing but tier 7 missiles, shave, and all this stuff. You know, when I was tier 5, I wasn't getting tier 6 missiles. So if you've paid to play all the way up to that tier, you should be receiving the stuff in chests that correspond with that tier. It makes sense. But, you know, you got to use diamonds to upgrade them. So, yeah, money making.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them, you know, it seems to be really profound over the last month. That it's clear to me that they're changing algorithms. And the one that stands out to me is two things. One is missile behaviors. I don't know about you guys' experience, but over the last 4 or 5 wars, my missiles are not hitting like they used to. Trackers aren't tracking like they used to. And even now, I got auto aims going straight sometimes. And if you notice, I just recently made LGN, so maybe this might be it. But I'm going to get some really good pilots. And I'm noticing that the kills are really good pilots getting more often than not 3, 4, 5 kills, and it being spread out between the people on your squad. Where when I first went to tier 7, I was dropping 6, 7, 8 every battle. But I'll see someone like Crash out there, and I'm flying against him, and you'd get your 6, 7, 8 kills on occasion, but far less if you ask me. I'm seeing more balanced, averaging out to 4. Great if you're looking for like some parity to keep people interested, but we know that's not the purpose. I think the kill ratios for even the top pilots are down a lot. because I know I'm using a ton more missiles to get the same amount of points that I used to. You guys experience that?
Well, I can
It's
honestly
been
say,
going on for like a month or two for me, where 90% of my missiles go fly straight, and I don't hit what the hell I'm aiming at.
yeah, and
Oh
my
yeah,
builds have been down way too long to give really any kind of insight to it. So I'm sure I believe you.
I had my firepower. I put that 100 decal on 2 wars ago. Um, against Rock, actually. What a great squad. They gave us a real battle. Um, and I had that 100 decal. My firepower is at 9,000. And I'm hitting, it's taken me 2, 3, 4 missiles that I'm locked onto a target. And I'm pretty good at keeping them in the kill zone. And they're not killing them. The first one is completely missing. The second one might hit them and it doesn't take them down. And if I space them, I'll get them on the third, sometimes the fourth, depending on who I'm flying against. Never experienced that before. With 9,000 firepower, I should be able to kill anything with one missile, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But the other thing that seems to be prevalent, bot suicide are off the charts. I actually have probably 30 to 40 screenshots where there was one. I was flying with bots and flying against one other pile of bots. I won the death match with 2 kills.
Huh.
I had 8 on the board, but I'm the only one that had 2 kills, and I won it. There was like literally 6 bot suicides,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing
Someone's
every
talked
single
about the
war.
bot suicides.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bot suicides. So I find myself, instead of going after the real pilot, I'm trying to go after bots to get them before they smash into the volcano. You know, I really would wish they stopped that. That's the most frustrating thing. And I don't want to make any accusations, but we know they're there to make money. And if you're not getting as many kills because bots are killing themselves, you have to fly more and spend more and use more. And I think it's just gotten
I'll
to
be
the.
honest, I've been coming to a lot of the opposite,
Oh yeah.
where the bots I fly are just stupid. Like, like there was a bot with an F-35, and not only were they outmaneuvering me, they were outgunning me, and they were out tanking me. Like I put 5 missiles on one, and granted, I know my highest level on my stall is only 13,
Oh
but
yeah.
I had a sticker on, you know, like I had a firepower and a maneuverability sticker on, and I mean I was up in like the 7,000 range for firepower, and I don't know, my mobility was somewhere in like the 3.8 range.
Yeah.
And I couldn't hang with that freaking F-35, and I'm like, dude, those are nerfed. I should
Oh yeah. It's either one extreme or the other.
they shouldn't shake me. They shouldn't be able to one shot kill me, and they shouldn't take more than 1 or 2 missiles to kill, and realistically one, not let alone that many.
And they're
I was just baffled.
taking you out with aim 9s or machine gun.
Yeah.
That's a mind blower
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I'm behind them trying to hit them with my gun at this point, and I get taken out by an aim 9 from that guy, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, how do you hit me when I'm behind you?
Oh, I've seen that many times. I'm glad it's not just me. It's like you're shooting missiles out your ass. It's fucking crazy.
Well,
um,
and that's like my missiles don't pull a 90 degree and go for the guy on my tail.
yeah. Well, I mean,
My
What the
Ash-
back
fuck?
before Tier 7, when I'd fire a tracker, it would literally come out and do a U-turn.
yeah, yeah. Astras are doing that for me, but I'm on my mini account most of the time.
I have found if that's happening with my auto aims and my trackers, my third missile is always a cluster. They seem to work good.
Yeah.
And I was having a problem, and I didn't know if it was signal issues or what, but my Wi-Fi, I did test on, everything's fine with it, optimal. Someone gave me a suggestion, is I'm basically exclusively deathmatch. they said, go run a few tanks in skirmish, and then go back to deathmatch.
Yes.
And I did.
Yes.
And when I went to skirmish, all my missiles were hitting like normal.
So
And then
I'll tell you an old school trick, and I didn't realize, maybe it still works, but if you're being beat up in a single mode, switching modes, playing a couple like a couple flights in each category, and going back to your favorite, it will make a difference, or it used to. That's
it's like a
school.
reset.
See, for me, I say fuck the fancy missiles, and I'll load up either Strongs or clusters, and then and then my other two will be fasts and Astras.
Yeah.
And fast missiles for me, a lot of the times, are better than a tracker.
Yeah, it is.
Because you'll have a guy on the corner of your screen that you still have lock on, and I can shoot a fast missile. It'll shoot out straight for about, I don't know, 200 meters. It'll turn a 90-degree and shoot into that son of a bitch.
Yeah, so much like changing modes, changing missiles can probably be helpful too. Because
I flew my whole last war with nothing but Astras, fasts, and Strongs.
I'll tell you, the war we had with Rock 2 wars ago, I threw up 168K,
Jesus
and
Christ.
I went through legit 1,000 auto aims and 1,000 trackers to do it.
Since we're here at that point, do you even want to talk about how much money you think you spent? I don't usually ask, but you're you're a bigger player.
I knew I was enamored by the game at the beginning. Like, I played constantly. In a 48-hour war, I was probably playing 10, 12 hours. It's like, if I wasn't going out for music, I was playing this game. I intentionally didn't track it, but it's in the thousands. I know there are people that have spent 10,000 just in leveling up a single jet. I know there's some people that are really deep, and that's the enigma of the game. Like, if I sat there and said, you reasonably say I spent 3,000 in this game, hypothetically, it's like, I could do so many things with $3,000, but I'm pumping it into this game.
Yeah.
This game it's not a game. It's a hobby. And it's an expensive hobby. And as much as I complain from time to time and get fed up and stressed out, it's like, mitigate the burnout and right back at it, dumping money into it and playing it. And a lot of it has to do with the Discord community. And I don't know who owns Discord, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was Sky Warriors, because it's at the point that it's the people in the game that keep me in this. Well, I mean, I've made some really great relationships with people in here. And the thing is, it's such a diverse community. I mean, it's worldwide. The personalities, I mean, they're all very interesting. Like Cupid Stunt, man. I listened to your podcast with him. I love the guy. He's going to come at you if you say something off color to him, but he's him 100% of the time.
Well, shout out Cupid Stunt and fuck you, buh. You stupid cunt. But yeah.
I'll say it. I've said it once. I'll say it again. You want us to get that guy riled? Just call him Arthur.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
Arthur Vines. Yeah. If you Google Arthur Vines, there was a TikTok or Instagram guy.
I saw that.
yeah. But no, my I actually was checking on him today, so I need to DM him, let him know we shouted him out. But yeah, I miss my buh. I haven't talked to him in a
I tend to enjoy the most controversial characters in the game. I love Bucky. I never had a problem with him. And it's funny. I watch him. He gets a shit knocked out of him by literally everybody, constantly coming at him, and he takes it like a champ.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I'm trying to get Bucky onto. We're close.
I've gotten to know him, and we've had some private conversations, and he's knowledgeable, he's supportive, and he's actually a really nice guy.
Yeah. And that's just like Cupid, man. And the reason, he's been on and stuff, but he's also, he's engaged and getting ready for a wedding, and he's a nice guy too. I won't tell anybody else, but he's a nice guy. He'll probably laugh at that, me being cheeky, but
yeah, because I've had conversation with him, and it's we're more cordial with each other, and the pit. Every time I see him, like, how's the gash healing? How's that cunt gash healing, bud? And he'll throw me a picture and say he's going to get a tattoo on it. And I love watching. He goes on holiday a lot, and he posts a lot of pictures of it. He loves his future wife. I believe he has a daughter.
Yep.
Loves her. He's a normal guy living life. I mean, he's a savage, man. He does that scaffolding, and I think he does it with like reckless abandon. Like, I don't think he cares if he falls up. He'll pick himself up, put some duct tape on it, and get back up on there. Well, he's an interesting cat.
We had an instant connection because I understood he was trolling from the get-go, so me and him have always been kind of close, and yeah, I miss him. Somebody else is controversial that may be controversial is we were talking about Nebo. I'm trying to get Nebo on.
Yeah.
He's from Serbia, and today Kegs and I got to meet him. We did face cams and stuff with him.
Oh, nice.
And he seems like a normal guy. He's just, he's in Serbia, basically, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And, well, that's the thing. I mean, that's what I love about this game. You're kind of getting like a worldwide education to one degree or another by interacting with all these people from all over the world. Some more than others. But yeah, it's quite a phenomenon, this game. It's crazy.
Well, and if it wasn't for this game, I wouldn't have met Kegs. I wouldn't have met all the team, all these people we've met. I wouldn't have met you. And
yeah.
For example, like you were talking about writing a book and stuff. Something about you did some research. Maybe had a link.
Yeah. No, I've been researching a personal project of mine. I have a funny thing. People always ask like how old you are. And they think I'm full of shit when I say I have no idea. I haven't celebrated a birthday since I was 21. I refuse to have birthday parties, shit like that. And it's based on this, that I don't know if I read it or it just occurred to me, the subject matter of time. And I guess I'd preface this by saying that, and it's kind of a cliche comment, I've always approached life as I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, not a human being having a spiritual experience. And I guess what I'm saying by that is being human is temporary. I haven't quite figured out exactly what we're here for and doing, but I have some strong thoughts on it. We're having an experiential experience for the greater part of us that is the unknown. Energy cannot be eliminated. It doesn't die. It only changes form. And having had not a near-death experience, I actually died and came back. It gave me quite some insight onto that. It made me enjoy life a whole lot more because I know there's more. So I approach things in life in a much happier, calmer, loving way. I realized that anything that occurs in my life, it didn't happen to me. I created it for myself, for my own experience. Everything, good, bad, or indifferent, is a part of the learning curve of spiritual evolution. So time is a funny thing. Is I realized that time is just a man-made construct, man-made up time. Time in space-time does not exist. It will when you put man's construct onto it. The speed of light, like the closest galaxy to us, the light you're seeing from it is 4 years old. But we're the ones that put the 4 years on it. Light is just light, So it's really helped me in my approach. Like people say to me, I was dating this girl once, and she said, we went to do something. She said, "Oh, I got to be careful. I'm 48. I got to watch how I step off curbs. I probably have osteoporosis. If I step off the curb, I'm probably going to snap an ankle." I'm like, don't do that to yourself. I said, the universe manifests whatever you put out there. And if that's what you're putting out the universe, you're going to break a fucking leg. Sure than shit. Like, literally 4 months. She calls me, goes, "You motherfucker." I go, "What did I do?" She says, "I broke my fucking ankle stepping off a curb, you asshole." And I think that's very true. I think people reach certain age and they say, I can't do this anymore. I'm too old for this. Oh, I'm over 50. I got to get checked for colon cancer. I probably got colon cancer. You know, whatever you put out to the universe is going to come right back to you. There was a book called The Secret. It touched on that type of thing. It's not just what you do and what you say. It's how you say it. And this really works for me spiritually. Like, I wake up every morning and, I'll get water out of my faucet to make a pot of coffee and I'll like thank myself for the abundance of having running water because I know so many don't. And I have a roof over my head. It's not a glorious house. It's simple, but I have a roof over my head. I have food in my refrigerator. I would I want to have more money? That would be great, but I have all I need. I get everything I need. I want for nothing. So when you feel that way and you put that out of the universe, it's a kind of funny thing because when I started doing this, I had a lot of kids when I was really young. I was a single dad, raised 4 kids by myself. And, I was the type of guy that was like looking in the seat cushion for money to buy diapers and stuff and constantly sweating money, you know? And when I came to this realization and started appreciating what I did have and not having mental breakdowns about what I didn't have, it just started coming to me. Like money started coming to me. It's like when you say, I have everything I need, you'll get more. When you say something from The Secret, it's like if you say, I wish I'd hit the lottery, you will spend your life wishing you hit the lottery. It's based on the concept of whatever you put out to the universe is going to come back to you. If you put out my life sucks, it's going to suck. If you put out, it's tough, but my life is great, your life's going to be great. And so, yeah, with the time thing, man made it up. And you talk yourself into aging. There are other things we can do. I read something that the human body was created to last approximately 600 years, which sounds like a little off the charts, but when you think about it, it's because of environmental things, chemicals, the ever increasing shitty food we eat, processed foods, things like that has reduced this. So I try to be a real clean eater. I don't buy into don't eat eggs, they're bad for you, cholesterol, blah, blah, blah. I drink at least a pot of coffee a day. Found out that is the number one natural detoxifier of the liver is coffee. How many things we've gone through that society has said they're bad for you, and then 5 years later, now they're the best thing for you on earth. So yeah, I've been developing. I've always been fascinated with the fountain of youth. I do think there was one that existed. It may not be like take a cup of the fountain of youth and you're 18 years old again, but the premise of it. So I've been researching for years and implementing on myself to slow down and hopefully reverse the aging process. So I do tons of research on it. And I'm not a young guy, but I am in phenomenal shape. My life is amazing. I party like a fucking animal every week. I do. I'm out for music. Since COVID, I'm down about 3 nights a week. Just because it really changed the social structure of everything.
Sure.
A lot of angry, bitter, paranoid people out there. And
well, and by the way, I'm glad that you're bringing this up about the concept of time.
Yeah.
Most of our listeners, so 60% of our listeners are 55 or older. But we do have a demographic between, 25 to 40 that can also benefit from this, being younger as well. So,
yeah. Well, they say it like a lot of people is if you have the right mindset, you'll beat cancer. If you don't, it'll consume you. And I think that's been proven that your approach, your attitude to things your mind is a very, very powerful tool. Both ways, it for your benefit or for your destruction.
Well, shout out, by the way, since you brought up cancer, shout out to T-Mac. We hope he's doing well.
Yeah, I love that dude.
Yeah,
he seems to have a really positive, great attitude. I constantly try and check in on him. How you doing? You know, he lets me know he's having a scan. I told him to research Rick Simpson oil. It's a very high concentrate of cannabis that has scientifically been proven to kill cancer cells. It's called RSO because it was developed by a guy called Rick Simpson. It means Rick Simpson oil. And it's a very tarry, gooey, not very well tasting thing. But if you take a certain amount of grams a day, it's been proven to completely reverse cancer. I'm not a big fan of Western medicine, and particularly big pharma. You know, it's weird. I have a dog that has cancer. I have a bull mastiff. He's 8 years old, 165 pounds. He's amazing, and he got lymphoma, and I've been putting him through chemo treatments. And the only reason I did was because I was told that dogs react completely opposite of humans to chemo treatment, and it's true. He's been doing it off and on for a year. He goes into remission. They swell up again, go into remission, and since he was diagnosed, he hasn't lost any hair. He has no nausea, no vomiting. His food consumption is up. His energy is up. I have 3 dogs, and they're like zooming through the house and in the yard all day. And maybe that has to do with like a dog's attitude towards life versus a human.
Sure.
But it's kind of amazing. But, you know, I believe in Western medicine when it's absolutely essential. But I think when they started doing pharmaceuticals, it was intended to be a temporary fix to things. I think it's converted to you get on a drug and they want to keep you on it forever.
I have
Whether
personal
it's
experience with that.
Yeah.
That's how I became a drug addict, so I get it.
Yeah. So I've been working on this for it's got to be good 7 years now. Researching and putting pieces of the puzzle together.
Have you started writing?
What's that?
Have you started your book?
No, I figure I'm going to start it now because I very recently, like in the last couple of weeks, was looking for one thing I knew was missing, and I believe I found it, and I'm going to start that into my treatment regimen. What I learned early on is that hormonal balance is key to a healthy body and anti-aging. So I do testosterone replacement therapy. I have it monitored every 4 to 6 months. I'll check my levels and stuff like that. But what I did through research and found a provider that would write it for me is I also measure my estrogen levels in my body, which most people that do testosterone replacement therapy don't look into because it's all about hormonal balance. So if I get really low and out of balance on estrogen, I do it. It's not estrogen replacement therapy, but I do an injectable. It's a female fertility drug, and it balances out my testosterone and my estrogen, and it keeps me very healthy. I'm in very good shape. I have a gym membership, but I don't really go. That 6-pack is real, and I'm not young. And the other research I found out, not everybody can take it, but it is a pharmaceutical, but it's been around. It was discovered in England in, I want to say 1929 and used in England, is metformin. It's a diabetic drug. And that one and only particular diabetic drug that it does different is it does a function that increases what they call the ATP in your body, which works with cells because the intent was to reduce insulin, increase insulin sensitivity. If you know how blood sugar that comes to your body works, it's received by cells. It has to go into cells that then go to the brain. And when you're insulin resistant, the sugars don't bond with the cells the way they should with the insulin created from your pancreas. So I've been taking daily 750 milligrams of metformin for several years now. I don't have diabetes. Some people take it and it has real gastrointestinal problems like diarrhea and stuff. I did when I first started, but I went past it. And so I take that every day. And then the missing ingredient from research that I found is I knew like it's expensive, so I don't do it, but I may at some point. A big factor that could really work with it is for the Fountain of Youth is a lot of athletes use it. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on it. HGH.
Yeah.
Once you hit about 25, it starts decreasing in your body, and that accelerates the aging process.
Really?
If people could have a proper amount, you don't want to overdo it. Like athletes use it. Comes to mind in football, Ray Lewis, before they won the Super Bowl, he had completely torn his bicep, and he's the reason that they started checking for and banning HGH in the NFL, because he was using that and his bicep tendons repaired and the muscle tissue like in a month, where he would have been out for the entire year. But now they test for that. And so I found the missing ingredient is reactivation of mitochondria. Mitochondria is a cell in the body that is very prevalent in children. It's the thing that makes you look at them and say, wow, I wish I could bottle that energy, you know? And it's done that so you have that energy for brain development, growth, muscle growth, bone growth, development. And it starts depleting around 25. Your active mitochondria, you never lose it. It's always there, but it goes dormant. So I figured if you can find a way to wake up mitochondria, it's going to slow the aging process. And there's a thing out there, and recently discovered by a scientist, and it's called MNN. It works with ATP to do things with the body, like slow down the disease process, even reverse disease processes. It's something that overcomes the problem with cell receptors. It's like when it's described, it's like the fuel that drives your body. I think most people that care about their body know that the number one killer in the aging process and good health is inflammation. And a lot of the foods and the chemicals we're exposed to, it causes whole body inflammation. And what happens on a cellular level is you get inflammation on a cellular level. So when your thyroid sends things to get into the cell, there's receptors there, and a lot of these things can't get into the cell because of the inflammation around the cells. So this NMN reduces that inflammation. And I think everyone knows you got to disease process all starts with inflammation. So it helps to reduce inflammation, and then the right things of the body on a cellular level they want to send to you for a healthy life can actually get in there. That's what some believe the premise behind diabetes is the sugar can't get into the receptors in the cell that bond or in the receptors with the insulin to get into the cells because of inflammation. So I'm about to start that, and we'll see how that works out.
Well, I just looked up metformin. I think I can just buy it at Walmart.
No, it's a prescription.
It is prescription. Well,
Yeah.
I also seen that the warehouse stuff. So that's always sketchy. So yeah, I'll just go up to Walmart and get a prescription. That's all good.
Well, I talk to I don't go often, but I go see my PCP because I like her. And because I had that issue where I died, it ended up being a cardiac issue. So I talk, I see my doctors on a regular basis, and I'm fine. I end up having a couple of stents placed in my heart, and because my cardiac output was shit, I was actually partying like an animal, raging all the music, and I had one working vessel in my heart, and they were like, "There's no reason for you to be alive," you know. It's like, you never had chest pain, shortness of breath. I'm like, fuck no, dude. I'm dropping 3 tabs of acids, going out, pulling all-nighters, hitting the nitrous tank, dancing like a maniac. But since I had that done, had it checked, and I have the heart of and the cardiac output of a 35-year-old.
That's crazy.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, just to clarify something. So
Sure.
when you say you're getting your testosterone tested, is that like a total testosterone test that tests not only your free testosterone in your body, but also the testosterone? God damn it, I can't talk tonight.
Yeah.
That's attached to proteins as well, or is it just a free testosterone test?
No, it's what's actually working through your system, bonding with proteins, and get on a cellular level, and all that. Yeah.
So it'd be a total test. So it's not only what's bonded to proteins, but also what's free flowing in your body.
Yeah, I think I spend, although I think I sourced a cheaper source. I went through a Men's Health clinic to get this started, and I think it cost me about $2,600 a year, which is far less than I spend in Sky Warriors. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah,
right, well, and that's the reason I wanted to ask that is because you see all this stuff on TV for people who watch that, which I don't much anymore. But I remember like the ads for Nugenics or whatever. It increases your free testosterone, blah blah blah.
right. Which
But there is a difference between bonded testosterone to proteins and free testosterone in the body. So
exactly. Yeah, I never used any of those Nugenics or any of that because I was well aware you can have all the free testosterone in the body you want. It's not helping you.
And right, it has to be bonding to your proteins to actually get you something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Correct. So that's why I wanted. That's why I wanted to clarify.
So I'm starting the regimen with this and curcumin isolate is extremely important in the aging factors. And it's not just curcumin. It's great if you can use natural curcumin. It's good for your health, which is basically turmeric. But when you get it isolated, it's liquid form. The absorption rate is 100% in the liquid form. In going through the digestive process, you don't uptake enough of it. So, yeah, it's literally a maze to navigate because there's real information that's real helpful and beneficial, and then there's the shit people are putting out there to make money, and they have enough truth in their message that it squeaks by legally. Not that our FDA is worth shit anyhow. If you talk to people from around the world, half the shit the FDA allows in this country is banned worldwide. Certain dyes, this Monsanto chemicals, they're all banned. The United States has the most horrible diet, the largest prevalence of obesity in the entire world, but there's so much, it's a lot of information out there, but if you dig into it, you can do this stuff. So when that happens, I'm going to start this, see how it happens, because it'll increase my energy. It'll increase your muscle mass naturally, and all these things. And if that's it, we'll see how it works. And I'll start digging in and writing a book on it, because I think it's real. It's funny. I read this article from a guy. He broke down the difference between lifespan and health span. And it was a great article. If either you're interested, I can send you the link to it. We know over the years that we've dramatically increased people's lifespans. And I use my grandfather as an example. My grandfather lived to 76, and he dropped dead in the backyard digging the garden for my grandmother.
Oh.
You know, he was always, you know, pretty disease free. You know, he didn't have many problems, and he lived a good life and dropped dead. And that's how it used to be back then. But now with big pharma and medications, and a lot of people know this, is they don't cure anything. They just keep you sick from being too sick to die for a longer period. So our life expectancy, I believe, last time I looked, it was 76, but I think it's up to 78 now, average human life expectancy. But what has gone down is our life health expectancy. So people are getting sick much younger now, even though they're living longer. And that goes into our diet and environmental factors and things like that. I don't know if we were on just talking or we were live.
No, we're still recording.
No, I meant before when I talked about if you look up the incidence of erectile dysfunction is gotten so much younger than it ever was 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
A lot of that, I think, is socio-related in the way things do things. We don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
So
Gender.
like Orwellian type stuff.
Yeah, well, you know, like the change, you know, and I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm very respectful to people's preferences in life. But we're changing the makeup of how we are built on a mental basis, which translates into a physical basis. You know, if you look, when I want to know something, I often look into the animal kingdom. Someone just straightened me out there. There are some homosexual species out there, but the vast majority of the animal kingdom, I mean, it's all about procreation and survival of the species. I think we humans are changing that formula. I'm all for everyone having whatever pronouns they want, do whatever they want. But we are definitely fucking with the laws of nature.
Well, and there's some research that maybe you might not be aware of. Do you know who John Calhoun is?
I've heard the name.
Okay, he did an experiment back in the late '60s, I believe, maybe even earlier than that. But it
Mice?
was called the Rat
The
Utopia.
mice experiment?
Yeah, the Rat Utopia.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God! I just posted that on Facebook like 3 weeks ago.
Well, there you go, buddy. I told you. Sometimes I have a brain too.
Oh, I find you
Well,
behind.
talking of the animal kingdom, I just had 2 foxes trot by my truck.
There you go.
Oh,
kinda
that's a sign.
And the sad part is, I don't know if it's legal, but he was hunting earlier.
Yeah.
I like foxes. Though.
I don't think Fox is in season right now, but I'd have to double check.
Yeah, the thing is, I like foxes. We have foxes that run around our little.
Well, and it doesn't matter. It's fucking whatever time at night. It's illegal to shoot right now anyway, so it doesn't matter.
And I know you do things by the book. I can vouch for that. So. Yeah.
You know, talking about
I don't want my hunting privileges taken away.
Privileges. That bothers me, but on a different level. Sorry.
Well, no, but that's the
It's
term
true.
that's used in today's society for
It's
everyone
true.
else to follow. I'll use proper vernacular.
No, it's true. I get it. I just, yeah, it's just funny to hear. That's how much we've changed. We've went from, you know, existing, surviving, you know, animals. We went from animals to all of a sudden we've become our own god, and we've talked about that before.
humans
Well,
think.
and the thing is, though, like most of what my family consumes is things that I hunt and provide for my family.
I love that.
Like we don't go to the store hardly at all for like meat and shit like that. Anyway, like veggies and shit, yeah, sure, whatever. But
I'm coming down
like
for dinner, bro.
probably like
fill that
80%
freezer.
of 80% of the meat in my freezer is shit that I've shot and killed
Yep, fill that freezer.
and processed myself.
Yes, sir.
Well, could you imagine, because we've lost the art of living, you know, all the knowledge that's been passed down from generation to generation. Unless you've been a hunter your whole life, the average human being couldn't even kill a bug to eat. And if there was ever something catastrophic like the power grid going down, it'd be a nightmare.
Yep.
People,
I
people,
honestly,
no
I
survival.
was baffled by this. Well, now that you say that, and this is a true experience. Happened to me. I swear to Christ. I'll swear to whatever you want. I don't follow Christ myself, so I probably shouldn't say that. And it's taking the Lord's name in vain for all those who would get pissy about that. So we'll go ahead and sidestep that real quick. I caught myself. Congratulations, I'm PC today.
Sorry, YouTube.
But yeah, well, fuck YouTube. Anyway, just kidding.
No, it's fine.
Um, well, I mean, I have a shirt that says "fuck your feelings" and it has a dude fucking a pole. So take that for what you will. Um, but anyway, I had this conversation. It baffles me to this day that there are people on this planet that are older than me. Now, keep in mind, I'm in the ballpark of 30. I'm not that old. All right, I've lived a lot of experience. I have a lot of experiences that some of them I'm not proud of. Some of them I wish I never would have had to learn, or at least didn't learn the way I did. Okay, I've been through a lot of shit in this life. All right, and then a lot of people are like, "Oh, the fucking young bucks bitching right now." Yeah, whatever. Cry me a river, build me a bridge, and get the fuck out of here. Moving on. Um, there was a lady in the store that she swore up one side, down the other, and fucking up to fucking God's green acres if they are around somewhere. That meat came from the store, like it was made in the store. She did not realize that animals died. She did not realize that, like, you're eating a living thing. Like complete like dissociation of the fact that no, that beef was a cow. No, that
Yeah.
pork was a pig. That breakfast sausage you love was also a pig, or so on and so forth. Like chicken is called chicken because it comes from fucking chickens. Like no clue, no
Right.
fucking clue. And I'm like, how the fuck? And this is
They
back in
have,
like what was
they have,
that 2000?
they've dumbed society down rather efficiently.
I was so just. I just sat there and listened to this big old spiel that she gave about the virtue of people that buy meat from the store because no animals were harmed in the making of this meat. And I'm just like, I'm just sitting here like I couldn't even wrap my head around it. Like to this day, like my whole being just revolts from that thought. Like how can you even begin to actually say that that's what happens? But at the same time, and Piers Morgan actually touched on this one. Ironically, I'll quote Piers Morgan for or not quote, but I'll touch on something that he said. But like it's the fucking vegans that are like the worst for the environment and worse for the fucking because like their tofu and shit. No, when you grow all of their shit, you
Yeah.
pesticide the fuck out of everything, and that field is fucked for 5 years.
Well, I
So like
mean,
you
when
kill,
you look
you
at how
kill every vole, every shrew, every bug, every squirrel, you just kill the shit out of it. Where
yeah,
like I go out and harvest a deer for my family for meat, and like one arrow, one deer, and I'm done.
Well, hell, you got
and
stand trial,
That's
brother.
it.
you're controlling the animal population, which is essential. And we tend to be involved with unnatural things that could be determined with just common sense.
Well, as a society today, I feel like I feel like there's been a desensitization or an oversensitization, actually, I suppose, to what's considered violence. Like if you kill something, it's violent. You're living a caveman nature or whatever. And it's like not necessarily I'm providing food for myself. Like if I kill it, I eat it. So like it's bird season right now.
Mhm.
If I kill a bird, or what's my daily possession limit? 5 or whatever, daily bag limit or whatever. It's like 5. Okay, cool. If I kill 4, I clean them right there and I bring home the breast and we cook it and we eat it. If I kill a deer, I process the different parts into what I want and we eat it. If I get a bear, we eat it. If I get a turkey, we eat it.
Well, I can vouch for.
Beavers. Well, like I trap in the wintertime. Beavers, you can eat beaver. They're actually pretty damn good. You
I
can
can
eat
vouch that he
otter.
cleaned it. So if you want, tell the story why you missed one of the podcasts with Finn.
Oh yeah, I took my I took my stepson on his first hunt,
Nice.
and he got a nice 5 point buck.
And felt.
Yeah, in velvet. I was that was awesome. But yeah, that was yeah. I was hoping we'd be done and everything by then, but he choked on the first one that came in, and then we spotted that one, and we actually did a spot and stock on it. It was really cool. It was a fun experience, and he did good, but yeah, that's mostly processed. It's all clean and everything, but I still have to. Uh, my wife actually just got a new grinder for us, so we can grind our own burger and whatnot.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I said, if I kill it, I eat it. If it goes in the freezer for we still buy certain things. Like who can say no to a good ribeye every now and again.
Right.
I'm not gonna say no to a nice ribeye. I love ribeye,
Well, and the thing is
but
Yeah.
like, Kegs literally was
it,
cleaning a deer one night, and he texted me. He's like, "Dude, I can't make it. I'm elbow deep in a deer." I was like, "Dude, enjoy that actually, because we'll be here. I'm gonna keep doing this until I'm either shut down or I don't know, whatever."
Well, if you get shut down, it's a compliment. It means you're getting something done.
Well, you know,
You know?
I
You're
think it's
speaking truths that nobody wants to hear.
well, and I think it's pretty
well, so
clear.
and here's a good one. Here's a good one for the desensitization or over thereof of society. Too many people, and I read this ironically on Facebook the other day, as I was sitting on my porcelain throne, bored out of my skull. Was too many people got used to being disrespectful and not getting punched in the mouth for it. And
Mm.
there's a psychological aspect to that where they say that civil discourse between men is kept civil because
Hmm.
of the underlying threat of physical
Physical harm.
altercation.
Yeah.
And I think that moves into gun culture as well. You can ask
Well,
Texans
not even
or
no, not necessarily. If I'm within 5 feet of you and you got a gun, I don't. That
well,
gun is
no,
a
no.
non-factor as far as I'm
I mean the
concerned.
culture as far as the idea that guns make good neighbors. Most of the Midwest would understand what I'm saying. Um,
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's the same
if
thing,
you're in a place
psychological.
that guns are prolific, New Hampshire, Texas, things like that, you might you might second guess your road rage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Or better yet, if you're a criminal, you might second guess what fucking house you decide to kick the door in on.
Yeah, it's a psychological
absolutely.
thing. It really is, and at least
Because
in the
gun
Midwest.
laws, and I'll say this to anybody on any platform, I don't give a flying fuck. Gun laws only affect people who are willing to follow the law.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
If I really wanted to, and it's not that hard, because when I was working with things that won't be named and this other crap, blah
Yeah,
blah blah.
yeah.
It's not shady shit, but it leads to shady shit. I won't get into it anyway.
Sounds like
Some work
OT.
I did, some work. Well, I have an NDA, so yeah.
Hmm.
So, but some work I was doing with certain government bodies at the time that I was employed for this particular place. It's not that hard to get a gun as a criminal. Let's just put it that way. Like I know this for a fact. We did work on this. This is firsthand. It's really not that hard, and you can get something that's either unregistered, untraceable, serial
Yep.
numbers filed off, so it doesn't fucking matter. Like if you get caught with it, obviously you're fucked. But you can basically use it to your heart's content, and it's not going to get traced back to you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, it's not that hard to get.
And changing the gun laws and making it harder for people who do abide by the law to get that for protection of life and property. They're still going to get their guns. You will never rid this country of the sheer number of guns that are in it.
No, it's
And if
already
you,
here. Yeah,
yeah,
it's already here.
never.
Well, and here's the thing. To wrap up, because we're pretty
Well,
close.
what really bothers me, honestly, is the people that don't actually take the time to research something. Like there was a thing I saw, and this was on a actual news outlet of, oh, this is what an AR-15 back when the big AR-15 push first happened back, I believe it was when Obama was in.
Hmm.
This is what an AR-15 will do to a watermelon. It was clearly a shotgun
Yeah. Well.
being
Yeah.
shot at a watermelon, and I'm sitting there like, that's not even close.
Well, they wanted to
But people
outlaw
are
it.
believing this is what an AR is, and
They
I'm
wanted.
like, that's not even no.
Well, they wanted to outlaw. An AR without realizing, the Mini 14 will do the same thing, same capacity. Like, they just don't know guns. And again, it's all our leaders. And I want to say this because I think this is kind of a poignant thing. It just kind of came to me. And it's not just gun culture. It's just worldwide, I think most people want a utopia while living in a true dystopia, and it's one of those things where I
You know how
enjoy.
a human?
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, buddy. You're good.
Well, you know how you truly achieve either a utopia or a human achieves what some people call nirvana.
How's that?
Mhm.
In my opinion, anyway. And it goes back to an old saying of it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Right.
I agree.
Find a discipline, train in it, become comfortable using it. And I'm
Respect
not
it.
talking, and I'm not talking in like a gym necessarily fashion where it's like pitter patter, fucking half fucking. No, get used to actually going at someone with not lethal intent, but intent to do great bodily harm. Become comfortable with that mindset. Don't revolt from it. Understand that it has its purpose and when to use it.
Sure.
It's not any different than having a gun and knowing how to use it in the right circumstance. It's not any different than any tool, having a hammer and knowing when to use that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Put that in your mental arsenal, just like the tongue is the best is the how would that one go? The tongue is the snake that gets you out of out of
Out of the grass.
a poisoned garden or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically saying that your tongue, your verbiage, is your first weapon. Sharpen
Well,
your mind. That gets you out of 90% of your shit. But your body posture is the next thing. If you are a weak individual, cannot be good. It is very hard to be a good person.
well,
It's not I am. It's not I'm weak, therefore I am good. No, that doesn't fly.
when you go back to the original, other than the obvious hunting and things like that used for firearms, they try to discount the real personal use of firearms
Yep.
foundation,
Yep.
and that's prevention of tyranny.
Yep. Domestic and foreign. And
Right.
the thing is again, we're approaching time, and I hate doing this because we're gonna have you back on a lot. But
Sweet.
the biggest thing is, I, I I think that especially with guns and just what Kegs was saying, um, to be a good person, you
Yeah.
have to believe in something or at least have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Now
I disagree with that.
you don't think so?
I mean, to be fair,
No, it's
no,
fine.
I don't. You don't have to believe in anything necessarily,
But have an idea.
but you have to accept what's in front of
Yeah.
you. There's a difference
Yeah.
in that in that outlook. Personally,
Yep.
like I don't believe in a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I don't believe the world is naturally a good place. I don't believe the world's naturally a bad place. I don't believe that one vehicle is supreme to another just because of the emblem that's on the front of it. I don't believe the grass is green because I see it's green necessarily. You know what I mean? Things are all subject to your own personal.
Perspective.
Um,
Perspective.
yeah, exactly. Perspective. Thank
I,
you. I my
no, but
mind
that's
fucking shot
exactly
off on a different tangent there
no,
for a second. For a
that's
second.
exactly what I mean. Absolutely. I did honestly, Cash. It's been a freaking ride with you, and we could do this for hours and hours.
Oh my God, it's definitely ours.
But
We had so many
do, do
subjects
you
we haven't even touched on.
do you have anything you want to shout out or you know?
Shout out to my squad, MS2. Great squad. We need some hitters. We're a good squad. We have our share, but we need more. And if you're not happy with your situation, come over and give us a try. Great people. There's no drama, no bullshit. Um, yeah, it kind of blows my mind that 50 people that are so into this game that they can throw up 20K basically in their sleep. They can't find each other. I don't know why that is. You got a couple of people that'll go above and beyond, and then they get burnt out because they're carrying their squad. Why those people can't find each other and have be successful in a relaxed manner, it blows my mind.
Well, and that
You
goes
know,
back to Chevy and IA too. He speaks about that how they're kind of lucky to find each other. So yeah,
the funny everyone's not everyone, but a lot of people don't like IA, and I have no issue with them.
Nope.
They found the formula, and I bet you every other squad, if they could find that formula, would be doing the exact same thing.
Well, we copied it back when we created WD, but yeah, definitely listen to Chevy's episode. That's the one that's going to be previous to your part one. But
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I really appreciate you coming on, Kegs. Always a pleasure being
it's
with
been
you.
a pleasure, guys. I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed.
Well, we'll
Oh,
have you
hey,
back.
one quick last thing. One quick last thing. Um, you guys should have a monthly podcast and see if you can get an intelligent guest that's like level-headed and get a dev on to talk about the game.
Boy, I wish. So we've tried, and other people have tried, including Maravik has tried to kind of highlight us. And the thing is, I would love to talk to the devs and stuff. I'm afraid to become part of them in any way. I don't necessarily want an endorsement. I don't want a sticker. I don't want anything that's going to change what we do. And I don't think
Yeah.
that I don't think we would be able to come to that kind of agreement. I would love to have one on.
Well, yeah, I mean, be civil with them and ask some real legitimate questions and give the opportunity to answer, because that's one of the biggest problems in the game is people like feel like this money grab is relentless. Like, can we level the playing field just a little bit?
Right.
And if not, why? You know?
No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
100%. And
All right, guys.
I really
It was a pleasure.
appreciate you coming on, brother. I do. And
My pleasure completely.
if
You
the
guys are
audio's
awesome. Keep doing what you're doing.
if the audio for everybody out there listening, if the audio is a little different this time, we're trying something new, but hopefully we'll get it dialed in. But boys, I guess with that being said,
He's cool,
he's been Kegs.
and we're to fug out.
Perfect, boys. Perfect.